Hello there. Today I want to discuss three main reasons why Jehovah's Witnesses who claim to be the happiest people on earth are not and can be the happiest people on earth. As a matter of fact, we know that among the 8 million people, which is not that many, it's still a small group of people in comparison to the amount of human beings on earth. So 8 billion people and still a lot of cases of depressed people. For a people that calls itself the happiest people on earth, that's a lot of depressed individuals. So I'm gonna start with the third of the three main reasons, the third most important reason: knocking on doors of strangers. Knocking on doors of strangers who don't want to hear you, who don't want to see you, and who don't want to buy what you have to sell. Well, that is hard to make anyone happy. As a matter of fact, I would compare a Jehovah's Witness to a telemarketer. Ask a telemarketer if they like their job. I used to be a telemarketer years and years ago. I hated this job, and everybody that worked with me hated the job as well. They only did it because it was their job to do it. You know, they were motivated by the paycheck at the end of the month. Same thing as Jehovah's Witnesses. They are motivated because they are taught that is salvation. That means salvation to knock on doors of strangers. So that's why they're doing it. They believe that it's God's will, but they really hate it. All right. So that's the third of all the three most important reasons why Jehovah's Witnesses are not happy. Nobody is happy to knock people's doors, strangers' doors, who don't want to see you, don't want to hear you, don't want to buy what you have to sell. And they have to do it on a very, very regular basis. Some of them, if they are pioneer, are doing it every day. That's a very huge reason to be unhappy. I know I hated to go in service when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and my mother, who died as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, hated it too. Most Jehovah's Witnesses, very few may lack actually doing this. I've known one, I know for sure she actually enjoyed service, but those are very, very rare. All right, second most important reason why Jehovah's Witnesses are not happy people. It's the amount of guilt that is being put upon them on a regular basis. You have to go in service whether you like it or not. You have to go to the meetings whether you like it or not. You have to study your watchtower whether you like it or not. You have to study for the book study. You have to study for the kingdom ministry meeting. You always have to do things that actually do not bring pleasure. It's just that you have to do them. But none of those things bring you true pleasure in life. You just have to do it. And if you do not do it, there's going to be a lot of guilt that's going to be put upon you. I will never forget. It was a kingdom ministry meeting. And that ministerial servant, who eventually became an elder later on, but back then he was still a ministerial servant, and pretty much out of his hat said that if you did not study that kingdom ministry pamphlet, you would be destroyed. And I remember one thing, because I was someone who never really studied too much that thing. It was the one meeting that interested me the least, let's say, and I was never putting too much emphasis on it, too much study into it. So believe me, I felt very guilty that day, because pretty much he was telling me and everybody else like me in the Kingdom Hall, if there were anybody else that felt concerned, that we were going to be destroyed just because we did not study very much that kingdom ministry pamphlet. Number third reason why so many Jehovah's Witnesses are depressed and can't make these people the happiest people on earth. Very, very important thing that we actually teach as life coaches to our clients is to live in the moment. In order for you to be truly happy, you need to learn to live in the moment, meaning to appreciate what you have right now, to appreciate your own person right now, to appreciate your surroundings right now, to pretty much appreciate what you are living today, this hour, this minute, this second. Well, in the world of Jehovah's Witnesses, there is no such thing. You cannot appreciate the moment. You are told to only live for the future, which is after Armageddon, and which is, let's be honest, a very fuzzy future, because it's a future that is not the same thing as when you are building your own future. It's a future that you have no say about it. You have no power of controlling in any shape or form. It's a future that only belongs to God, and you may or may not be there. So very, very fuzzy, to say the least, future. But at no point you are taught to appreciate the moment. You can't live in the moment. Well, the truth is, you can never live in the past and you can never live in the future. You can plan for the future. You can do anything about the past. The only thing that you can control 100% is your present. And usually, no matter what situation you are in, you use your mind, your thoughts to control your present moment. You have the choice to feel miserable or happy. It depends on your thought. But because of the teaching of the governing body upon Jehovah's Witnesses, they are telling you that what you have right now doesn't count. You cannot put emphasis on anything, on your belongings or even upon yourself. You are not allowed to, do higher education. You are not even encouraged at all to have any type of career, unless it's a type of career that helps the governing body itself. So this is the number one, as a life coach, number one reason I can tell you that you're not happy, because you can't live in the moment. And that is one of the key, most important reasons. The number one key to find happiness is to learn how to live and appreciate the moment, which you are taught the opposite. So I would advise, if you're still one of Jehovah's Witnesses and not ready to leave that organization yet, still learn to live in the moment. Learn to enjoy life now, because that's all you have. And unless you are able to control your present moment, you'll never be happy. So here you have it, the three main reasons. Number one, you can't live in the moment. You are taught to live only in the future. We can't live in the future. We can plan for it, but it's impossible to live there. Number two, a lot of guilt is being put upon you, and that will make anybody miserable. As a matter of fact, when I have a new client who consult me for the first time, I always try to find out if anyone or anything is putting a lot of guilt upon them. That is the first thing I try to find out. That is so common among Jehovah's Witnesses. One of the huge reasons why it makes you miserable and depressed. And the third reason, knocking on doors of strangers who don't want to see you, don't want to hear you, and don't want to buy what you have to sell. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, share it, comment on it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.